The 1980s gave us a rock revolution, an era of soaring vocals, leather jackets, and unforgettable anthems that defined a generation. From stadium-shaking power ballads to rebellious hard rock, these voices shape the sound of the decade. Join us on a nostalgic journey through the legends who made the 80s roar. This is Best Rock Singers of the 80s. 1. Ann Wilson. Do you remember the soaring anthem Barracuda? Back in the 70s, Ann Wilson's powerful voice shook the world. At 75 in 2025, she still radiates charisma, though her youthful rock star glow has mellowed into a graceful elegance. Her stage presence remains unmatched, a living reminder of how timeless talent can truly inspire us. 2. Pat Benatar. Hit me with your best shot. Can you hear it echoing in your mind? Pat Benatar stormed the 80s with fiery vocals and fearless spirit. Now 72, her youthful edge has softened into wisdom, yet her spark still shines. Watching her today feels like reliving a golden era when rock was bold and unapologetic. 3. Stevie Nicks. I still recall when Landslide first played, it brought tears to countless souls. Stevie Nicks, the mystical voice of Fleetwood Mac, enchanted us with her flowing gowns and magnetic presence. At 77, her beauty has transformed, yet her aura is more powerful than ever. She remains a queen of rock, weaving dreams across decades. 4. Susanna Hoffs. Close your eyes and sing Eternal Flame. Do you remember Susanna Hoffs with her dazzling eyes and captivating smile? In the 80s, she made hearts skip beats. Now 66, she carries elegance and warmth. Her youthful charm matured into timeless grace. Watching her feels like revisiting a flame that never truly burned out. 5. Joan Jett. I love rock and roll. Who didn't shout along when Joan Jett claimed the stage? Fierce, rebellious, and utterly magnetic. At 66, the raw edge in her look has softened, yet the fire in her spirit still roars. She remains an icon, a living reminder that true rock and roll never fades away. 6. Belinda Carlisle. Remember the joy of Heaven is a Place on Earth? Belinda Carlisle's radiant smile and melodic voice defined an era of pop magic. Now 67, her once youthful sparkle has matured into serene beauty. She carries herself with grace, yet every note she sings transports fans back to a world filled with hope. 7. Nancy Wilson. The unforgettable riffs of Crazy on You still echo in rock history. Nancy Wilson, the guitar goddess of heart, once dazzled with fiery stage energy and striking beauty. At 71, her aura has evolved into refined elegance, but her music keeps hearts young. She proves that passion and artistry only grow stronger with time. 8. Chrissie Hynde. Brass in pocket. Do you feel that groove again? Chrissie Hynde, with her cool swagger and raw edge, gave the Pretenders their soul. At 74, her once fiery gaze has softened, yet she remains magnetic. Watching her today is like stepping back into the punk-fueled heartbeat of the late 70s. Still unforgettable. 9. Lita Ford. I can't forget the blazing guitar of Kiss Me Deadly. Lita Ford, the queen of rock solos, stormed stages with power and style. At 66, her rebellious aura still lingers, though age has reshaped her once fierce look. Yet her legacy proves true rock spirit never surrenders. It only grows louder in memory. 10. Patti Smith. Sometimes love just ain't enough. Oh, that aching melody still touches the heart. Patti Smith carried both strength and tenderness in her voice. At 68, her youthful radiance has mellowed, but her warm charisma shines even brighter. Listening to her today feels like opening a diary of emotions we never want to forget. 11. Kim Gardner. Can you recall the raw energy of Sonic Youth? Kim Garden redefined what it meant to be a rock rebel. At 72, her edgy style has evolved into an artistic elegance, yet her spirit remains untamed. Watching her now, you realize she was never just a singer. She was, and still is, a movement. 12. Susie Sue. The haunting voice of Spellbound still chills the soul. Susie Sue, with her dark, magnetic beauty, ruled the post-punk scene. At 68, her fierce style has softened, yet the aura of mystery remains intact. She reminds us that music isn't just heard, it's felt deep within, echoing through generations that still idolize her. 13. Kim Deal. Do you remember Cannonball exploding across the 90s airwaves? Kim Deal's playful yet powerful voice gave the Breeders their magic. At 64, her once carefree look has matured into wisdom, but her charm is untouched. Seeing her today, you realize some voices aren't tied to youth. They are forever woven into music history. 14. Dale Bozzio. Take a trip back with Words by Missing Persons. Do you still hear that futuristic pop pulse? Dale Bozzio, with her wild style and unforgettable voice, embodied the neon 80s. At 71, her bold fashion has quieted, yet her essence remains iconic. She reminds us that the 80s spirit still lives in every beat. 15. Debbie Harry. Heart of Glass. Do you remember how it lit up the dance floors? Debbie Harry, the dazzling face of Blondie, was every bit the punk goddess. At 80, her edgy beauty has softened, yet her magnetic aura endures. She reminds us of an era when music was bold, fearless, and forever unforgettable. 16. Annie Lennox. Close your eyes and hear Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. Annie Lennox's androgynous look and haunting voice changed pop forever. Now 70, her fiery red hair may be gone, but her commanding stage presence remains breathtaking. She proves that true artistry doesn't age, it transforms, inspiring generation after generation with timeless brilliance. 17. Kate Bush. Do you remember the spell of Wuthering Heights in 1978? Kate Bush appeared like a dream, ethereal and otherworldly. At 67, her youthful glow has matured into quiet grace, yet her music still enchants millions. When Running Up That Hill resurfaced, it reminded us Kate's magic was never lost, only waiting to be rediscovered. 18. Alison Moyet. The voice behind All Cried Out carried depth, soul, and raw emotion. Alison Moyet, with her rich contralto, captivated the 80s. Now 64, her image has evolved from youthful allure to dignified elegance. Though the years have reshaped her look, her voice still stirs hearts, proving soul-stirring music never fades with time. 19. Tina Turner. Oh, what's love got to do with it? The anthem still rings in our hearts. Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll, was pure fire on stage. She left us in 2023 at 83, yet her electrifying energy lives forever. We remember her not with sorrow, but with gratitude for her unstoppable spirit. 20. Grace Slick. White Rabbit, do you feel that psychedelic rush again? Grace Slick was the fearless voice of Jefferson Airplane, her beauty and intensity unmatched in the 60s. At 85, she has stepped away from the stage, her youthful wildness now softened. Yet her voice still echoes in rock history, timeless and daring as ever. 21. Sinead O'Connor. The haunting cry of "Nothing compares to you" defined an era. Sinead O'Connor, with her shaved head and piercing voice, was unforgettable. Her passing in 2023 at just 56 shocked the world. Though gone too soon, her spirit endures, reminding us of music's power to bear the soul and leave everlasting scars of beauty. 22. Freddie Mercury. Bohemian Rhapsody. Can you hear that operatic thunder? Freddie Mercury's electrifying presence and flamboyant charisma ruled the stage. Though he left us in 1991 at just 45, his voice remains immortal. Watching Queen's legacy soar today, we still feel Freddie's fire, proving legends never truly die. They live forever in every note we sing. 23. Bruce Springsteen. Born to Run. Oh, what an anthem of freedom. Bruce Springsteen, the boss himself, once embodied raw, working-class energy. At 75, his rugged charm has matured, yet his spirit remains boundless. Seeing him perform today feels like revisiting America's heartbeat, reminding us that rock is not just music, it's a story of resilience and hope. 24. John Bon Jovi. Who can forget Livin' on a Prayer? John Bon Jovi's golden hair and boyish smile made him a rock idol of the 80s. Now 63, his youthful glow is mellowed, yet his stage presence still ignites crowds. Watching him today is like stepping into a time machine, his voice still carrying hope and fire. 25. David Lee Roth. Jump. Do you remember Van Halen's wild frontman leaping across the stage? David Lee Roth was pure energy, a whirlwind of charisma. At 70, the wild sparkle has aged into a seasoned charm, but his legacy shines bright. He reminds us of a time when rock was untamed, daring, and irresistibly alive. 26. Sammy Hagar. I Can't Drive 55, the anthem of rebellion. Sammy Hagar's voice carried the spirit of speed and freedom. At 77, his youthful fire has softened into wisdom, but his charisma still commands attention. He may no longer run the stage like before, yet his songs keep the thrill of rock alive in our hearts. 27. Axl Rose. Welcome to the jungle. Axl Rose once mesmerized the world with his untamed energy and piercing voice. At 63, the once wild, rebellious aura has changed. Fans see both nostalgia and wear in his appearance. Yet when he sings November Rain, emotions surge again. He is proof that legends evolve, but never disappear. 28. Bono. With or Without You, the anthem that defined U2's greatness. Bono, with his sunglasses and passionate voice, became a symbol of hope. At 65, his youthful sharpness has matured, but his presence still radiates power. Watching him today, you realize he's more than a rock star. He's a storyteller, carrying messages of love and unity. 29. Sting. Every breath you take, do you still hear that haunting melody? Sting, once the magnetic frontman of the Police, captivated with his piercing gaze and commanding voice. At 73, his boyish charm has aged into dignified elegance. Yet his artistry remains timeless, blending wisdom and passion that continue to inspire fans around the world. 30. Robert Plant. Stairway to Heaven. Can you feel the magic? Robert Plant, the golden-haired god of Led Zeppelin, once reigned with untamed power. Now 77, his youthful fire has matured into a sage-like aura. Though his voice has deepened, the spirit remains. Each performance a reminder that legends may age, but their music never does. 31. Ozzy Osbourne. The Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne. Who could forget Crazy Train? His wild antics and unforgettable voice defined heavy metal. In 2025, we bid him farewell at 76. Though his once fierce image had faded, the legacy remains immortal. Fans still feel chills knowing Ozzy's roar echoes eternally through rock history. 32. Joe Elliott. Pour Some Sugar on Me. Oh, the anthem of 80s rock. Joe Elliott, the voice of Def Leppard, once stunned with energy and style. At 66, his youthful glam has settled into mature charisma, but his stage fire remains. Every performance reminds us that the heartbeat of classic rock still pounds, loud and proud. 33. Phil Collins. In the Air Tonight. Do you feel that drum beat coming? Phil Collins, with his soulful voice, ruled both Genesis and solo charts. At 74, his health has slowed him, yet the emotional weight in his songs feels even deeper. He shows us that even when time reshapes the body, the music endures stronger. 34. Steve Perry. Don't Stop Believin', who doesn't sing along? Steve Perry, the legendary voice of Journey, once carried youthful charm and unmatched vocal power. At 76, his once boyish looks have matured, yet when his voice rises, magic returns. He remains the eternal voice of hope, proving that true melodies never fade with age. 35. Bryan Adams. Summer of '69, that timeless anthem of youth. Bryan Adams, with his rugged look and heartfelt delivery, captured an era of pure rock passion. Now 65, his boyish energy has transformed into seasoned grace. Still, every time he sings, fans relive their own summers, proving his music is forever tied to memory. 36. Billy Idol. Rebel yell, you still feel that raw energy, don't you? Billy Idol blasted the 80s with punk swagger and sneer. At 69, the wild youth has faded, replaced by rugged refinement, yet that trademark sneer still sparks. Seeing him today, your heart races. True rock rebellion ages, but never dies. 37. David Bowie. Ziggy Stardust. Can you still taste the stardust in your mind? David Bowie, ever-shifting chameleon, captivated the world. He left us in 2016 at 69, yet his cosmic glamour forever echoes. We mourn him deeply, but feel exhilaration recalling his fearless reinventions. He proved that art transcends mortality. 38. Steven Tyler. Dream On. Do you still catch the falsetto rising in your soul? Steven Tyler, with flamboyant moves and wild scarves, defined Aerosmith. At 77, the youthful swagger has mellowed into rock aristocracy, his hair silvered but voice still soar-worthy. Watching him now is like inhaling pure rock legacy, timeless and powerful. 39. Peter Gabriel. Salisbury Hill. Remember that ethereal flute-led ascent? Peter Gabriel brought delicate poetry to progressive rock. At 75, his youthful radiance transformed into serene wisdom, yet each note still lifts us skyward. He reminds us that music can heal, elevate, and that artistry deepens with every passing year. 40. Lou Gramm. Jukebox hero. Do you still hear that defiant riff and heart pounding? Lou Gramm, voice of Foreigner, once brought stadiums to tears. Now 75, his once rock star looks matured into dignified presence. Though time has softened the edges, his soul-stirring vocals remain immortal, still electrifying our memories. 41. Klaus Meine. Rock you like a hurricane. Feel that surge again? Klaus Meine's voice propelled Scorpions to global fame. At 77, his youthful intensity has settled into commanding calm. Yet, when that chorus hits, chills return. He teaches us that raw power evolves into mastery, and the storm never truly fades. 42. David Coverdale. Here I go again. Does that chorus still lift your spirit? David Coverdale, with soulful grit, led Whitesnake's ascent. At 73, his once smoldering look softened into stately warmth, yet when his voice soars, nostalgia floods in. He reminds us that passion and perseverance create legacies that refuse to fade. 43. Paul Stanley. Do you still scream the chorus of Rock and Roll All Nite? Paul Stanley's glittering stagecraft made Kiss a spectacle of glam and fire. Once youthful and theatrical, his looks have settled into distinguished charm. At 73 in 2025, his voice and showmanship still spark joy, proof that true rock spectacle ages and into beloved legend. 44. Gene Simmons. Can you feel the thunder when I Was Made for Lovin' You starts? Gene Simmons' imposing presence and bass growl turned Kiss into a cultural force. His once fierce, larger-than-life image has softened into veteran gravitas. At 76 in 2025, his theatricality endures, reminding fans that mythic rock personas leave indelible marks. 45. Vince Neil. Remember revving up to Kickstart My Heart? Vince Neil's gravelly voice and glam metal swagger made Motley Crue a party of excess. His youthful defiance has given way to a weathered but resilient presence. At 64 in 2025, he still radiates rock bravado, proof that messy, vibrant energy leaves a lasting fingerprint on generations. 46. Dee Snider. Can you hear the chant of "We're not gonna take it and feel the rebellion"? Dee Snider's towering voice and spiky bravado define Twisted Sister's anthems. Now 70 in 2025, his once ferocious look has softened into earnest charisma, yet the defiant roar remains. He proves that unapologetic spirit ages into principled legend. 47. Michael Hutchence. Do you remember the seductive groove of Need You Tonight? Michael Hutchence's velvet voice and brooding charm made INXS irresistible. He died in 1997 at just 37, and would have been 65 in 2025. His absence still stings. When that riff plays, nostalgia floods back, proving luminous talent becomes immortal echo. 48. Sebastian Bach. Can you still belt out 18 and life at the top of your lungs? Sebastian Bach's raw energy and dramatic delivery define Skid Row's youth-fueled roar. At 57 in 2025, his once untamed mane and aggressive swagger have mellowed into seasoned showmanship. Yet when he sings, memories surge, proof that youthful electricity keeps burning years later.